Hi everybody, this is a review about the Walther P22. Just kind of a neat little pistol. It's calibered in 22 only, and hence the P22. But it's kind of the baby version of the Walther P99, also made in Germany by Karl Walther. Now, operation system is of course different than that of the P99. But the pistol itself still shares a lot of the similarities of the grooves in the pistol handle, and then the ambi mag release, and then even where they have the magazine slide catch and whatnot. Now, a couple things about this is this actually has a safety compared to the P99, which does not. The only thing this has is a decocker, which if it's cocked, you can decock it. If there's a round in the chamber, it's going to fire, no matter what. Where if there's a round in here and it's unsafe, it will not fire. Because, I'll get a little close up on this. Once you can see when you switch it to safe, it blocks it. And when I pull this back here, you'll get a little bit better picture of that. And one of the neat things about that too, actually, is the fact of you're not supposed to dry fire pistols, or sorry, I'll rephrase this. You're not supposed to dry fire 22s and older guns. Today's pistols, this Walther P99, you can dry fire this all day. It's not going to affect it. There's still some people that really believe in the whole snap caps and whatnot, but it doesn't really matter. Unless it's an older firearm or a rimfire, so it could actually be different rimfires. But you do not want to dry fire it, and that's because how they're set up. But the neat fact about how this safety is set up, you can dry fire it, and it doesn't matter. And now the only real advantage about that is it is a smaller pistol. It is more of a compact pistol, for smaller hands. Where when you're aiming the sights, I'm not going to really try to do this here at this angle, but when you're aiming at the sights, you're able to see if you're going down, up, left, right. So you definitely have a neat feature there. So when you're first getting used to the gun, because that's one of the worst things about when you go out to the range is okay, I'm gonna see how this gun fires. You're just kind of telling off the paper where nobody likes that person that you set up a target and every shot you're taking a look at. Okay, now it's shooting this way. So neat feature about that safety. Because a lot of safeties out there, you're not allowed to do that. Just like every other gun, like I was saying, it has the slide release right there. And another feature about this gun, if the safety's on or not, no magazine, it will not fire. Kind of a disadvantage. It is safety though. It's kind of a neat safety. But then again, one disadvantage about this pistol, it came out many years ago, and it's a very neat pistol. But it has 10-round magazines. You cannot find high-cat magazines. And the only reason, it's just saying for the fun aspect, anybody with a Ruger 1022, you have that 10-round magazine, getting a 25 or 50 just makes it that much funner. And, same thing about this. If they had a 25, 50-round mag for a Walther P22, if that thing cost $70, I'd still buy it. Just because, it'd make it that much more funner. Now, as you will notice, I do have this fake can. It's by Spikes Tactical on here. It adds a lot of neat factors to it. It actually adds weight to it, so it's easier to fire. And it's not really, some people, they'll hold a gun like that when they're firing, and not really my style at all. But some people like it because, it is more of a compact pistol, and some people will do that type of thing. And when you have this fake can there, you don't have to worry about anything like that. So, again, and actually I'll point this out real quick too. It's right there. It's a different end cap, and it has 1/2 by 28 threads. So that actually is not factory on the P22. And then I'll mention this too in the P22. This is the standard P22 model, which is a 3.4 inch barrel, and then they have the P22 that has a 5-inch barrel, and more or less it just has an extender there. And not bad at all. It's a pretty neat little extra. And then for the P22s, they also come in many different variations. I know there's one that the top slide is nickel, and then black, and then there's an OD green, black, and there's pink, black, you know, just like tons of different camo schemes and whatnot for the bottom frame, and then the top being black. So very neat little pistol. You know, I got mine about 4 or 5 years ago when they were 300, an amazing buy then. Now they run about 400, and especially if you buy them online, you might find them for 350 or so. But all in all, after FFL fees and whatnot, you're still paying 400. Mine, you know, is like 321 after tax, so can't go wrong with that price. I'm happy I got it. They usually come with 2 MIGs, one with the finger rest, one without the finger rest, and you know, it's an amazing pistol. And I'm gonna go to the only complaint about it, and I've only heard a few people do this, but some online sites, they really diss it, but like actual people I've talked to, and it's once you're firing the 22, and eventually it'll have cycle problems. Now, the reason that is if you take this off, this one screw right there, that will come loose. Its actual function, I'm not sure, to tell you the truth. I tried figuring it out for a little while. I was like, you know, I want to put some Loctite in this. Put some Loctite in there. The screw doesn't come out because when the screw comes out, it rubs against the slide. And when it's rubbing against that slide, you know, it's making it harder to function. And again, I did that, you know, there's since then there's been days where I went out and fired about 1,000 rounds through it. And this is, you know, like a whole day at the range. Works perfect, no real complaints. And heck, you know, it got pretty dirty and still worked good. And the great thing actually I'm going to mention too about it is that this pistol, it'll get really dirty right in the you know, little bore place and whatnot, but clean that little area out, it still fires and fires and fires. And it's I've kind of abused it, you could say. But besides that, also when you're firing it, this is the only gun I've ever really fired where when it ejects the shell, it will actually come back at you. Where a lot of ranges require eye protection of some sort, and then of course hearing protection. Hearing protection is just common sense. But eye protection, this is definitely a gun, if you are going to get it, where you do want eye protection. So, definitely one thing to warn you about. Besides that, I think that kind of wraps it up. Walther P22 being a pretty rad little pistol to get, and after firing it, I definitely suggest you get a fake can. This one actually is a little bit bigger for the front side post by just like a couple millimeters about. So make sure you don't get too big of a can if you're not used to firing a bigger can with the sights. I mean, definitely something I'm used to doing, but you might want to get a thinner can just depending on your situation. So, but you know, definitely a fun little pistol. You can mount red dots on here for your fellow. Fairly relatively cheap. You can get different scope mounts for it. But I'll leave it at that. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. And I've owned this for quite a long time, so it's a pretty neat little pistol, you know. Definitely something I don't mind owning.